Hey guys, welcome to this episode of SideQuest, and today we're going to be talking about seasonal games. So what are seasonal games? Well, they're games that I associate with certain types of seasons, certain times of year, and I usually have to break them out once a year to really get myself into the holiday spirit. And these games don't really have any rhyme or reasons, they're just ones that I have a lot of nostalgia for, or like I said, I just associate them with certain holidays. And let's just get right into it. First up, we have Illusion of Gaia for the Super Nintendo. Illusion of Gaia is an awesome action RPG where you're having to go around and fight giant demons and kind of go around the world, and there's a lot of like body changing elements where you switch from one character to another. It's very awesome. Great game with a fantastic soundtrack, stellar soundtrack. And it is one that I just have to break out around Thanksgiving, because when I originally came across the game, it was around that time of the year. And I can remember I started playing it, and Thanksgiving came up, and at this time, it was my first Thanksgiving away from home. I was living in an apartment for college, and I lived closer to my aunt and uncle, and Thanksgiving morning, they're like, hey, we're gonna come and pick you up. And they lived probably 45 minutes to an hour away. So in the meantime, I decided to put on Illusion of Gaia and play through a little bit before they got there, and it was a bright, early, sunny Thanksgiving morning, and I can remember getting to the first boss and beating him, and that was kind of the point where I knew, oh yeah, I'm gonna like this game, and it really sold me on Illusion of Gaia. And then I want to say I played through a good half, maybe 2/3 of the game, and then for some reason I just set it down. Kind of like I do most RPGs. And it wasn't until about a year later, around Christmas, when I finally picked it back up, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna beat this game. It's about time. And I can remember, it was probably every night after dinner, I would, I had these, they were holiday-themed beers. It was like a 24-pack of holiday-themed beers. And every night after dinner, I would crack 2 or 3 open, sit down and play Illusion of Gaia. And I did that almost every single night until I finally beat it. And it was awesome. It's a memory that I'll never forget. And Illusion of Gaia is just one of those games now that I have to pull out around this time of the year. Next up is an awesome game on the Sega Saturn. And that is Bulk Slash. This is one of the rarer games for the Sega Saturn, and it is also one of the great fully 3D games, or at least mostly 3D. Basically, the object of the game is that you can pick one of a few mech pilots, and you're flying around shooting down different enemies and stuff like that, and you can even land on the ground and transform your ship into a mech and fight there, and the goal of each level is to find 5 or 6 different, I want to say like power sources that you then have to destroy to trigger the big boss battle at the end of each stage and defeat him. And what makes me think of Christmas and winter for this game is that, again, I think it was back in my first year of college. It was just after Christmas, and we got a huge snowstorm here in Virginia. So Virginia, we don't get a ton of snow, but this one was like maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet of snow. And of course, classes were canceled, and it was just one of those perfect days where you just want to stay warm and cozy in your pajamas. You don't want to change, you don't want to do anything or have any responsibilities, and with snow days, it's a perfect excuse. So that's exactly what I did. And I lived in this apartment with about 5 other people. It was a big apartment. And we had a tube TV in the corner of one of the rooms. So I went out, set up my Saturn there, and gamed while my other roommate was on his like 60-inch TV in the living room. So I was playing probably like League of Legends or Borderlands or something like that, and I was set up in the corner playing Bulk Slash and having a blast. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna beat Bulk Slash today. And I was getting hung up on a couple of levels, and one of them, which really hit home for the moment, was a snow level. You kind of have this snow level where it kind of plays out like the Battle of Hoth in Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, and you're having to take down these big old AT-AT looking things, and they were kicking my ass. But I persisted and persisted, and I finally beat them and got to play, I think, the next 2 levels and finally beat Bulk Slash. And I will never forget beating Bulk Slash that wonderful afternoon of this huge blizzard we were getting in Virginia. And last up, we have a game that is the antithesis of winter, but it has slowly become a favorite winter tradition of mine, and that is Super Mario Sunshine. Aside from it just being one of my favorite games of all time, and I have a big video of it already planned out and voiced, so hopefully that goes up sometime soon. Aside from being one of my favorite games of all time, I think it is the most creative and, in my opinion, the best Mario game of all time. I absolutely love Flood. To paraphrase my review, Super Mario Sunshine rewards for mastery of the controls, and once you master the 3 different jumps in conjunction with Flood, the world is your oyster with this game. You can do so much. You can sequence break, you can break levels, and I mean, this is like not glitching. This is all just stuff you could do in game once you're good enough at it. But what makes this a wonderful Christmas game for me is I can remember all the way back in probably my 7th grade year. I got up for school like regular, got out of the shower, and it was one of those days where you could just smell the snow in the air. And my mom is like, hey, school's now on delay. We're on a 2-hour delay. So we go into school 2 hours later than we would. And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm already up and I'm not gonna be able to get back to sleep. You know what? I'm gonna play some Super Mario Sunshine, because I think I had been playing some the night prior. And I have this wonderful memory of being in my room and playing Super Mario Sunshine, just trying to wait out the clock, and being specifically at the Rico Harbor level, Secret of Rico Tower, and trying to do that level and dying and having a blast. And for some reason, I just felt I just felt the urge to look outside. So I look outside, and lo and behold, it is snowing. And you know, when you're a kid and it starts to snow, you just get that fleeting joy, and it really hit me in that moment. And it was a perfect moment where it just felt like the world stopped around me, and I was just in heaven as I got to play one of my favorite games while it was snowing outside and doing really well. And I beat the Rico Harbor Shine and kept going and kept playing. And it's just one of those perfect moments that I'll never forget. And unfortunately, I did end up having to go to school that day. But I want to say we were there for like an hour and a half before they were like, hey, the snow's really coming down. Everybody's leaving early. So of course, we got to come back home early, and I immediately came back and started playing Super Mario Sunshine again. So that is going to do it for this first episode of Seasonal Games. As the year goes round and seasons change, I'm sure I'll be back to talk about more games that I associate with holidays and seasons, but for now, that is going to do it. Check out my reviews on the channel, my other topic videos, my other SideQuest episodes, and until then, I'll see you next time.